Your uni, your team. From kick-off to the final whistle. This is the Shock Radio Sports Show.
Hello and welcome back to the Sport Hour. We've got Sam.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going well. And we've got Freya.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all back again. Same crack as usual. We're discussing Salford, both Manchester teams, the women and the men's. Might have some cricket as well. Formula 1 that's been going on. Lewis
Yeah, a bit of that has been, yeah.
But first, we've got a bit of Chasing Rainbows by Shed 7. That was Chasing Rainbows by Shed 7. And we're going to kick it off with Salford as we usually do, our local team.
The local.
Yeah, do you want to fill us in, Sam?
Yeah, go on. So yesterday they drew 1-1 with Newport County. A penalty from Adalakun, which puts him on 4 goals for the season. And Tyrese Forner was sent off in the 75th minute. So that puts him on 43 points, sat in 8th, just outside the playoffs, 27 games in.
Yeah.
So just sniffing about those playoff bits. So
well, over Christmas they got to, I think, third. That was the highest.
Up to third. It's tight. It is close up there. They're only 4 points off Autos. So
there's Walsall running away with it. They're on 58,
yeah.
But everyone else is around the 40, 45, 46 mark, and it's really close. They were good before Christmas. I watched them a few times, but they lost 8-0 to City. Quite a hammering. Do you think that's? Go on.
That's mad. That. Sorry, I'm not too clued. I'm not too clued up on it, but like that's mental. That.
Kind of expected though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting 8-0, but I was expecting like a comfortable 4-0.
Yeah,
not an embarrassment.
Yeah, I think 8-0 is a bit too much, but you catch City at the wrong time when they're all annoyed because of the games they've been losing. You know what I mean?
If you look at the form before that FA Cup game and afterwards, do you reckon that's impacted the morale?
I mean, I think you can see how it would, but at the end of the day, I think Salford is a League 2 team, especially from where the position they were in last season, finishing 20th, the 8th now, which is substantially better. Like, when you lose to a team like City, you can't take that too harshly. Like, especially in a cup as well. Like, in reality, it doesn't mean much. Of course, they get the extra money, which will help for, like, you know, a few weeks' wages and stuff. But you can't beat yourself up about it. You really can't.
You can't. When the reigning Premier League champions 4 times in a row, losing 8-0 is not great. Getting embarrassed in any profession is not great, but you can't take it to heart, can you really?
Oh, really? I think they're both in different, like, completely. I'm not too fussed up on football, I'm going to be honest, but if you're looking at Man City, a prominent team, and you're looking at Salford City, a little bit of a lesser prominent team, you can't be mad that they've lost. No. Maybe if you lost that much, that would be a bit of a like an ego like shot, something like that, but I don't think it's too much to be disappointed about.
So they play Walsall on the 1st of Feb this weekend. Walsall top of the league and are running away with it a little bit. What do we think is going to happen there?
Well, it'll be interesting because I know Walsall are top goal scorers in the league, but they've also lost the main man, Nathan Lowe, who's gone back to Stoke City. So I think it'll definitely be interesting because when you look at the league, Salford, I think, you know, the second goals for conceded, so they barely concede. Nathan Lowe's gone, so you can kind of look at it and think maybe Salford do have a chance because, you know, they're battling with the teams like Port Vale, Doncaster, Wimbledon, and, you know, 4 points off Autos. So, you know, really they should be up for it. There's no reason why they can't, you know, go to top of the league against Walsall and, you know, get 3 points away from there.
If they win this, do you reckon they can get automatic promotion then? Freya?
What a question. You're asking the girl with no football experience, so that's quite funny. I'm going to say sure. I think they've got a good chance. If they were on a winning streak before, I think they can bring that back. They were clearly on something before they got absolutely battered. So, you know,
they were great before Christmas. Defensively, they were excellent. I think they conceded something like 1 in 9.
Yeah.
Keeping it, I think, 8 clean sheets. That's great. But Carl Robinson said multiple times they don't score enough goals.
Yeah.
And you do look at the victories, like didn't score, or the losses, should we say? Didn't score against Fleetwood. Only scored 1 against Chesterfield and 1 against Newport County. Not enough to win the game.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a hole in the road from?
I mean, I think you can kind of say no because when you look higher up the leagues and you look at a team like Burnley, for example, in the Championship, you know, similar games in 27, 26 games in, you know, they've conceded 9 goals all season, and they haven't scored a lot. And they're getting through games like doing 0-0s and 1-0s and stuff. So you can do it. But what it just is, it's from like a fan perspective, you're going to be thinking, this is pretty boring. Because you're just going to be watching defensive football and it's just not attacking.
Goal. Salford aren't defensive though. They do
fair.
They've got some good wing players. But that's what we're all here for, goals, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
If you're not scoring enough for them, then you aren't going to win, and that's going to be an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, because that's what you know. If you're not scoring goals, no one's going to look at you in a good way at all. You know, you might like even with Burnley now, conceded 9 goals, but no one thinks they're a good football inside. They may be third, but no one looks good at them because everyone thinks they're boring. But
have you
in
recently
reality,
watched Burnley by any chance?
What's that?
Have you recently watched?
I've recently watched Burnley because I'm a Leeds United fan. I was in Burnley watching that 0-0 draw, bored out my mind. Yeah. But yeah, I know quite a bit about them. But it seems like a similar situation for both of them. I mean, but like you said, if Salford aren't boring at all to watch, then maybe they are different and just quite good defensively.
I enjoy watching Salford. They've got some really they do have really good young players, and Carl Robinson bedding them in. They debuted a 15-year-old in the FA Cup You're
joking me?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid. I'm sorry.
It makes me feel like there's people younger than me now like having careers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, tell me about it. The most humbling thing last season, I'm a season ticket holder for Leeds, and honestly, I was basically paying to watch someone the same age as me, Archie Gray, play football week in, week out. And there was one moment where I just kind of sat there and went like, this is so sad.
It's humbling, isn't
it? It is, it really is.
Yeah. Everyone has like a dream of like, I want to do this or this. And then when someone your age or you're even younger is doing it, you're like, oh no, it's over, isn't it?
But at the same time, like especially in a sport like football, you know, props to Salford putting out 15-year-olds like out on the pitch because like that's what you need sides to do more.
City on the bench, they had a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 17-year-old on the bench, and I think an 18-year-old keeper.
Yeah,
and that's what we want to see, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
Absolutely. You want to see that young talent come through no matter what sport. I think it's a good starting point, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it shows to anyone, like in the high levels especially, we don't see it often, and it shows to like young kids saying there is actually a chance that if you work hard enough or you're talented enough or whatever, anything in between, you can actually do it, which is I think is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Should we get predictions for Walsall versus Salford then?
Walsall versus Salford. Go on then, we might as well.
Yeah.
That's all. Do you know what? I'll say I'll give a Salford win. I'll go for like a little scrappy 1-0 because I think they'll hold up. Walsall might not be that good going forwards now that they lost Lowe. So
should we talk about that for a minute? Do you reckon that's going to be a big issue from Sam? Not Walsall not having a striker, and it's going to play into Salford's hands, who, like I said, have only conceded 9.
It will, because if you looked at that Lowe, he was scoring every single week for Walsall, and there's a reason why Stoke called him back. And 2 leagues above, he's 18, 19 years old. There's a reason why they called him back. So I think that will affect him quite a bit. Like, literally not having that person who scored most of your goals all season and you're top of the league, it is going to affect you. And then when you go to a team like Salford, who don't really concede that much, I think there'll be a big change. And I think, that's where Salford might get the edge and the opportunity to go ahead of Port Vale and Wimbledon as well. The boys will be bang up for it.
Yeah. Freya, thoughts?
I think that, from what Sam just said, I think the issues are clearly there, but I'm hoping that they can pull it back. I think Salford are quite a solid team in terms of what they do. I'm not going to lie, I have seen a few matches, so I think it's nice to go into that with some knowledge, hopefully. But I think that going forward, if they come through with motivation, I think they'll be all right. That's all I'm going to say. I'm quite a positive person, so I think they can come back from this quite well.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever predicted Salford to lose.
No one does though, that's the thing. No one ever will.
We're not starting now. You've got to back your local team, and at the same time, I'm a United fan, so my team are awful. Watching Salford, it's so much more enjoyable.
Bit of a breath of fresh air.
Probably not emotionally attached, but also because they're actually quite good to watch. They seem to know what they're doing. It's not just like 11 blokes.
They're not kicking you while you're down, sort of thing, like United are.
We'll get on to them in a minute.
I'll enjoy talking about that.
It's proper head in hands at the minute.
Oh, it is.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to go 1-0 as well. I think
1-0 as well, yeah.
Losing your striker is going to be a big issue because they're the main men, basically. And Salford are good defensively. Curtis Tilt's been really good. Sat in a press conference, asked him a couple of questions before the City game. He came across really well. He comes across. He sounds like the world's thickest bloke, but
I think that's a lot of footballers nowadays, to be honest with you.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
I'm sorry, Curtis, but you know what you're doing. He's a good defender.
Yeah.
But I'm going 1-0. 1-0.
1-0. Yeah, it will be.
Should we move on?
Yeah,
of course.
Well, should we go to United because we've just discussed them?
Yeah, go on. Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Will, do you want to start about the demise about
it's your
Man
team,
United?
so I think you should start.
We said demise. We've been like this for like 11 years. We've just, to sum us up, it's just boring to watch at the minute, and I don't actually know what. Obviously, they're just not good enough and whatever. But there's no like glaring issue of like, well, he's not doing that. He's not doing that. It's just boring. But Sunday night I was sat in here on my exec shift. I had the Fulham game on my phone, and nothing happened for 80 minutes, 70 minutes, and it was just it's like lifeless. And then I was at the Rangers game. I've been to about 18 games this year, which is quite good. Quite good for having a season ticket. And the Rangers game was. Do you know what? I really enjoyed that because we weren't very good.
Yeah.
We scored, then Rangers scored as well, and then there must have been 5 or 6 pockets of Rangers fans like around me, and you could see them all over the stadium.
Yeah.
And they jumped up, and then there were two of them that were going a bit mental, and then the stewards were kicking them out, and then we scored the winner, and everyone just jumped up around them. Just giving them a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but that was a good feeling.
I was gonna say that was a great feeling.
Yeah.
But for me, we don't score enough goals. Our top goal scorer is Ahmad, and Ahmad's not a striker.
Yeah.
He's only a young lad as well.
Yeah.
So it's just...
Well, it's just strikers Xerxes and Hoyland are just...
They've got... I like Hoyland, but Fulham especially, he was more bothered about just playing with his backing into a striker and not worrying about the ball. And like, we're not here
unless he's been told to do that.
I know, but we're not here for like have a fight with the strikers.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess so.
Before.
Yeah, in the whole point of football, like to score a goal or to
Yeah.
move
Yeah,
the
it
ball
is.
forward, possibly.
Yeah, he is a big physical lad, but he just seems too bothered about the physicality side of it. And
Maybe you could see like maybe he's been told to do that because like I think like with where Man United are now, it's kind of like I feel like it's at the point where like European football is
it's scrappier than it
Yeah,
ever has been. I think that's
Oh yeah,
Exactly,
even
yeah.
as a casual watcher, like there'll be two lads just having a scrap over random stuff as well. It's completely miserable to watch. I'm sorry.
This is the worst I've felt as a United fan. Like even when Solskjaer got sacked, I thought we've got a talented group of players, and we still do have a talented group of players, but it just doesn't feel right. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It just feels a bit like, oh, I've not paid £66 to watch these lot again.
Yeah.
It's just, you just walk into the stadium, and it's like the off the pitch stuff, like £66 for a ticket, and then the food hygiene rating just keeps getting worse and worse. Have you seen that as well?
I've not.
So was it like this time last year where they served someone raw chicken?
Shut up.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably. It wouldn't surprise
And
me.
then it was it over Christmas or just a few weeks ago? They found like rat droppings, mice droppings. I've seen a video of a rat on the pitch. It wasn't when we played Liverpool.
Well, I always
What?
say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, genuinely.
That's pathetic.
Well,
Yeah,
my thing
there was
I
like
always.
a rat or a mouse running around on the pitch. And it's just mental. It just
Sure that wasn't Bruno Fernandes? The thing I always see is the Man United waterfall from Old Trafford's
that's
roof.
not that bad. That's not actually that bad. It's the one at
Have they
Anfield
plugged the
other week.
holes?
I hope so.
Plug the holes.
Probably. Yeah.
Imagine your season ticket being under there. You'd be gutted, wouldn't
Oh.
you?
My friend's season ticket is under.
Is it?
Yeah, and I've got one friend who sits under one of the waterfalls.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what game it was, and she sits above the tunnel, and the rain just like sort of came in at the back and
Yeah.
flooded all the way down.
Oh.
So you could get out, but you needed some wellies. So
Oh,
yeah,
bless.
I know.
God.
United are away on Thursday night in the Europa League.
Yeah.
It's not a must-win game anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're pretty comfortable.
Somehow we've got to third after.
Sorry, after all that, you're in third.
not in the
In the
league.
Europa
Oh,
League,
okay.
in the Europa
Okay,
League.
I was gonna
12th
say.
in the league, 12th in the
in
league.
what matters as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
How do you see that going?
yeah, you should win. Well, it's
should
again,
win.
yeah, well, FCSB or whatever they're called. I know they have the proper Romanian name or whatever it is, but you should win that. Come on. I mean, it's away from home, but... Is it away from home? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
it's
Yeah, away from home. I mean, that should be a win. But regardless, it's a free hit, really. I think what's big for Man United at the minute, just try and find some stability in the league, because it's all, well and good performing well in Europa League, but at the end of the day, week in, week out, 38 games a season, it's just looking poor. And sitting 12th for Man United standards as well is rough.
The results haven't been great this year, but you've just said that Thursday's a write-off. Would you say performance is more relevant than result on Thursday?
I think my dad's a United fan, so he's very much in the same fact of view. Like, he's really devastated over how they've been performing. I think they just need to do better, but like performance-wise, they could be doing a lot more. And that's just from someone who doesn't regularly watch and doesn't regularly play football. Like, they just seem to be getting into scraps more than they do actually scrapping with the ball, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I do think it's like what we said. I think for Man United's point of view, they do need a good performance tomorrow, regardless if it's a write-off or not. They just need a bit of confidence, you know.
Absolutely.
Going into the weekend, Crystal Palace at home, it's just like, come on, you need a good performance from there.
There's been a nice run of fixtures since the Arsenal game.
Oh yeah.
And apart from the 3-1 loss to Brighton, that was awful, genuinely.
Oh yeah.
We've not played well, but we've won.
Yeah.
I think at the minute that's more important.
But it's kind of where you're at. It's just, you know, in the league, getting the points right now just to try and get you up a little bit more. So Man United isn't in 12th is like it's more important than, you know, we looked good and drew 1-1. You need the points.
Yeah, the only stat that does matter at the end of the day is the 1-0 or the 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
So whether you get 3 points or 0 points.
I'm going to ask you for your predictions again.
And for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be United lost.
All right, I'll take away the Leeds United bias. You guys, you should win, but also it wouldn't shock me if, you know, you ended up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or like you ended up losing. I'll go like it should be like 3-1 United, surely, something like that. Maybe they get an early goal and it's like, oh, Man United might lose here. Then like second half, you just bagged 3 goals past them. I think you should win fairly easily.
I would agree in the fact that I think United are going to win it, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's more going to be like a 2-2 sort of thing, possibly.
Yeah.
Throwing some out there.
Do you know what? I think I agree with you. There's been games where Porto 3-1 up and we end up drawing 3 apiece, and it's like,
yeah.
Are we for real? Are we actually trying? Are we trying to
just purposely thrown away the goals? Just for
comedy sketch. Are we trying to make me go mental? I think we should win it. Will we win it? I don't know. I imagine we'll concede first because no one else.
Yeah.
It's never easy. Yeah. Should we move on to the blue side of Manchester?
Yeah, go on. Well, let's talk about City then.
Well, they're playing tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, they are in that massive 18 games being played in one night.
Oh, my Twitter's been great today because I've seen people put like 18 team hackers on. I saw someone have 2.3 trillion to 1 today. That would bankrupt anyway. It's not going to come in, of course.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I was going to say.
Of course not.
If it comes in, I'm sure he could lend me like 100 quid or something.
Yeah, give us a bit of money. Give us a bit of money.
But City tonight it is a must-win game.
Oh yeah, well they have to win, otherwise they could be screwed.
Yeah, they have to win and hope results go their way as well. Because if PSG are playing Stuttgart as well, PSG and Stuttgart draw, they both go through.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it harder for City.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen? I've not been watching a lot of City. They seem to have picked themselves up.
Yeah.
Because the pre-Christmas slump was. It was great to watch, I think.
I have to say it was great to watch as well. Even though there's that bit of mutual agreement. Even though there's a bit of mutual agreement between me and City, it was fantastic to watch. But with regards to tonight, I think they should win. They should win. I think it's against Club Brugge. That shouldn't really worry them, you know.
They've played a lot in the Champions League recently.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, and I think, they've spent 125 million this transfer window as well on, some players. Don't get me wrong, Kusanov looked like an absolute train wreck against Chelsea, but like that Marmoush guy, he looks like he could be a player.
The centre half that they put in against, is he from Kazakhstan?
Uzbekistan, yeah.
Against Chelsea. I only found out today that he doesn't speak a word of English.
Oh, he doesn't, yeah.
And
he doesn't.
And I think he's only come over himself, so he's got like no family or anything.
Oh, bless.
And I know
20 years old.
20 years old, and to chuck him in a game of quite a big magnitude against Chelsea.
Straight away, he's mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a mistake from Pep because that's gonna obliterate his confidence, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will, but then I think in this day and age, if you look at the price tag of him, I think it was about 30 mil. We're talking. It's like for a player, I feel like you should just be able to get thrown into the team. Don't get me wrong, he's young and stuff, but if you have that much trust in him to be going and spending £30 million, should be able to throw a player in and they should do all right. But I do think he'll take a knock at him, definitely, especially because he doesn't speak a word of English. He's came here by himself. There's not much he can do.
No. Erling Haaland has started scoring again, and I know that because my FPL.
Well, I took him out,
I took him out, but he stopped scoring for ages.
Yeah.
And he started again. He picked up a goal on Sunday. So did Foden as well, and they're their best players now.
Yeah.
I think Kevin De Bruyne is. I don't want to say past it because the bloke's still amazing.
Oh yeah, he still is.
And Rodri being injured, they're the two players that they're going to rely on most, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially with Rodri, but Ballon d'Or winner, and also De Bruyne. I think he isn't performing at the level he was at, but
2 or 3 years.
He's still good.
Yeah, he's still good.
He's still good.
It's just a shame that he spends like 4 months every season injured.
Yeah.
Because he spends 4 months every season injured, and it comes like March, and he's already caught up on assists and goals. And if he wasn't there, I reckon he would have battered records.
Oh,
100%.
well, for sure, easily.
Should we speak about the magnitude of this game on tonight?
Well, tonight, yeah, it's tonight, isn't it?
This will be the first time that they've gone out in the group stages in a while.
Yeah.
They won it 2 years ago. Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, 2 years ago now. Yeah, it was Real Madrid last year.
Then last year.
Yeah.
And then it was them the year before.
Yeah.
If they go out, is it a failure for Pep? A big one as well.
To a point, I think if you look at the way City were performing, like with all the Champions League games and stuff, you can kind of look at it and go, okay, you can kind of understand why. But it is. You know, your Manchester City, you got Pep Guardiola as your manager. Pep Guardiola should be like, especially with that team he's got, he should be winning trebles every year. Never mind just winning the odd trophy. He should be winning trebles every year.
It's a proper dream to have that sort of team on FIFA.
Oh yeah.
It's a dream.
Wow.
It's not my dream, but it's probably Pep's dream. And then we're nearly done in January now. To have all that money spent to sign Erling Haaland on an even long, is it 8 years they've just signed?
An 8 year deal.
It's a long deal.
Mental.
And then to sign Marmoush, Kusanov,
and that Reece guy as well.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I think if they lose tonight, I don't think they will. It's a big failure for them because they are the best team in England and have been for a decade now.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, you're starting looking at what Liverpool maybe overtaking that, but it is, at the end of the day, it's like, even when they were losing, if you had Manchester City as your next game, you weren't going thinking, oh, they're on a bad run, we might pick up some points here. You were going, oh, it's Manchester City.
Yeah, we've never thought this about City, where anyone can go there and go, I reckon there's a part on the table for us.
Yeah.
No offence to Adam Skin's Ipswich, but the team that's just been promoted should not be like, I know they lost 6-0 when they played in the
Yeah.
They should not be allowed to have a goal and things like that.
No.
Teams have been, like, United have gone there and won 2-1, and I don't know how. I was loving it. My dog wasn't when he jumped all over the living room.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, he jumped up and started barking, so I'm having that as he's joining in.
United
So
fan.
he was.
Yeah. How do we think tonight's going to go?
I think if it's a must-win game, then I'd want it to, because my auntie used to coach Phil Foden.
Ooh.
Yeah, she coached him in Hillgate when he was younger, so that.
Oh, nice.
You've kept that hidden for 26 minutes.
Well, I
Great piece of knowledge.
sort of little slide in there. Yeah, I think it should be a must-win. If it's a must-win for them, I'd like them to win it. There's personal bias there, but I think
that's a proper,
I should.
like,
Yeah.
Not have I got news for you? What is it? Would I lie to you? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I once called Phil Foden at youth level. But
Yeah.
I think they'll win. I think they'll win comfortably.
Yeah, they'll win very comfortably, I think.
When push comes to shove, this City team does perform, and it's
exactly.
We've never seen them perform this bad early in the season, but the form early in the season when they've won the title has been a bit rocky, and it gets to, like, now to March, where they just sort of flick a switch and they go, win, draw, win.
Yeah.
And then somehow they've got a League Cup and a Champions League, and it's
what wouldn't really shock me if they did go on like a, what is it, like a 14-game unbeaten run now. To the end of the season, I'd be like, fair enough, it's Man City.
It'd shock me more if they repeated the form before Christmas.
Oh yeah, it easily would, yeah.
Predictions, and I'm going to ask predictions for every game.
Your predictions, okay.
I'll start with mine. I'm going to go. I imagine it be 4-0, and I imagine Haaland will get 3.
Yeah.
I imagine it'll be one of them where we're Manchester City, we're not going to get out of second gear, we're going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
And tell everyone that we're still here. I think that's going to be the sort of game tonight.
Yeah. Same, to be fair. I think 4 or 5-0. Just an absolute battering of Club Brugge. I just don't see them getting a sniff, to be honest with you.
I think from what I've seen from City, they're, like you said, they are just go big or go home with stuff like that. So I'd have to agree, maybe 4 or 5 would be a good amount for them.
Be great to watch as a neutral as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you'd be there rubbing your hands going like, go on City, bottle it. Bottle it, City. When it's 0-0 after 30 minutes.
It's great hate watch, and then it gets like 70 minutes, like, 4-0.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly,
my dad does this. He's a United fan and will hate watch City. He's like,
it's part of it.
I have to watch it. You do not. Like, realistically, you don't.
Reveling in your own success only lasts for a short amount of time. And
Exactly.
You can win the league and then be awful the next year, but watching your opponents be awful for a long amount of time lasts.
That's fantastic.
Because it's just something to rub in the nose. Like, a hate watch is people on Twitter love it where it's just like.
Yeah, I have seen people on Twitter like, revel over this.
Yeah.
No, I love doing it as well. It's fantastic. There's nothing better than just watching a rival team lose and you just go, get in there, get in.
Especially when you bet against them.
Can't say I'm a betting man.
We're not condoning betting, but when you do put one on and it's like someone, I don't want them to win, and it comes in, you're like, get in. I'll take the £27, please. Right.
Perfect.
We've done Salford, we've done City, and we've done United. The big three round here. We'll be back after a bit of Bruce Springsteen. That was Bruce Springsteen with Born to Run, a song that I did sing drunk walking back into my flat last night as my flatmate walked out of his room. I'm sure he was very appreciative of that.
I think we need that footage.
Yeah, I was going to say we should play it live on air.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of watching Sopranos again, and there's a lot of Bruce Springsteen references. In
right.
So that's the whole reason I'm like bringing Bruce Springsteen at the moment.
Oh, there we go then. There we
It's
go.
good music. Less of the Springsteen though, and more Manchester United women. 3-0 win against Brighton.
Boop, boop.
Yeah, on the 26th of Jan. And to be fair, they've been on a good run of form. 1-0 win against Palace, 7-0 against West Brom. A win in the derby, then a loss in the derby, and then a win against Brighton.
Yeah. Well, it's 5 and 5. 5 wins and 5 for them. 20 goals scored in those 5 as well. It's mental.
Yeah, they're playing really well. And another thing is, as I get closer to my mic, the lack of funding that they've had, and they've lost some big players like Elsie Russo's gone to Arsenal.
Yes.
And the men's team is taking priority, probably wrongly so, with how bad that's gone.
Yeah. I was
And
going to
the
say,
second-
you haven't done a good job there.
yeah.
Not done a good job.
And they're second in the league, and they won the FA Cup last year.
Yeah.
And I don't watch a lot of Manchester United women, but when I do, the quality is great. They're an enjoyable watch. I think that's the best way to put them.
Absolutely, some quality football. Like genuinely, I do watch women's football, and I think that while Russo is going to be missed, I think that they can still bring this back. To be honest with you.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ella Toon's the
Love Ella Toon.
Oh yeah,
she is class.
She is playing some good football recently.
absolutely.
She's been brilliant.
Yeah, and she lost her dad in September, and she spoke about this on was it a podcast with Rio Ferdinand earlier this
Yeah,
week?
yeah, well, it was, yeah.
And you've got to commend her for how well she's played and how well she's still doing, because that team runs around her, to be fair. Mark's going to admit it's a quality as well, but
Yeah.
They're a great watch. I really enjoy watching Manchester United women against Tottenham at the weekend. Tottenham is 6th, United is 2nd.
Yeah.
There's 10 points between them.
Yeah.
How do you reckon it's going to go?
I think, just by the looks of it, I think, 5 wins in the last 5 games. And I think, it's one of those seasons it's looking like for them where they're just going to be unlucky. Chelsea are still unbeaten. They've drawn 1 game, won all the rest. So it just does like one of those seasons where it's just like, no matter how well you play, no matter how good you look, you're just going to fall short because there's just like a freak team ahead of you. So I think against Tottenham, like you said, 6th place, 5 wins and 5, they've scored 20 goals in those past 5. I just don't see why they can't just run away with it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it is such a shame because Chelsea, like you said, Chelsea are this stellar team.
They've been that team for
ages, like genuinely.
It's commendable, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. To keep the standard up for that long, I think is commendable. But it's just a shame because I know United can play a really, really good game, and they do play some really skillful football as well. So,
is it Emma Hayes who manages Chelsea?
She's gone to she does America now, doesn't she? I think she went national team. Yeah,
because there's no like in men's football. There's very much you're a team footballer, or an international manager. In women's football, everyone seems to be everywhere, and I think that's what makes it good as well because there's quality players all over the globe. America hopped on women's football straight away.
Oh, really?
The way they've taken that and run with it, like we could never do something like that. That's all I'm going to say. They've got quality players and a really good system out there. So
I don't think they're miles behind in men's football either.
I wouldn't say too far. I think there is it generally is just because over there, if you're a man, you're pushed more towards American football. If you're a girl, that football was kind of seen as like the girl sport to go like, all right, you play this and let the boys do American football. It was seen as that. So I think the only problem with American if we talk about men's is that in comparison to England, Spain. I mean you got 100 years behind them. Ahead of them, you know what I mean?
It's the funding that they have over there because
it's mad.
The professional sport, everywhere's got mental funding, but it's like the college level and what's comparable to us now.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it absolutely is. My cousin used to coach not American football, but football in America, like soccer, if they'd call it. And the system they had for the girls out there is just amazing. Even at the college level, like you were saying, there's so much backing behind it. And I just wish we had something like that over here for lower levels, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because at Salford we've got 1 3G pitch, and any college team's probably got 2 or 3.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe even a stadium.
Oh,
maybe even a stadium. That's the thing.
Big.
Well, they've got March Madness, haven't they?
That
That's
looks
not
brilliant.
It's
That
just
looks
college,
brilliant.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great. And then isn't the draft centered around the college teams?
That's where they pick them. So like in American football, they'll have the draft and then they get the teams straight from the colleges.
I love how mental like American sports are, because
that's fantastic.
The funding, and then like the lack of transfer windows, but instead we'll just do a draft.
Yeah, it just takes it to the next level, sort of thing. Yeah.
That's the thing I always find annoying about over here is like, imagine if we had football in the same way American football is over there, where you had like college teams and stadiums and stuff, and everyone actually loved it.
Imagine
that'd be brilliant.
That'd be great.
That would be mental.
Great,
I'm sorry, that'd be mental, but it'd be the best thing probably to happen over here.
Oh yeah, definitely would be.
Yeah, but I'd love it. How do United, if we're getting back on track, stop Chelsea? Because that's obviously the aim. The progress for the women's team has been, it's not been a consistent up, but it's been a upward trend. I think that's the best way to put it. Chelsea is the block in the road, 7 points behind them. Chelsea are battered everyone for ages now as well. And in Europe, Barcelona are the big team as well. So how do they get past them?
You give Ella2 the ball. I'm sorry.
To be fair,
that's the only way you can do it.
I can't say much wrong about that, yeah.
You give Ella2 the ball and let her work her magic. I think, while there is a team behind her, I think she is the one that's going to take us to the very, very end.
She's a star, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With me, I think it's just that what Chelsea have at the minute that, Man United women's don't seem to have is like the firepower. Chelsea have conceded 37 goals. Scored 37 goals. Man United have scored 23.
Yeah.
Like, you may have like,
though.
yeah, exactly. So you may have players like Ella Tooney, getting 5 and 4 and stuff, and bagging every game. But when it comes to like 37, you've only scored 23 at the same point. I think that's where like it's going to fall short for them.
So would you suggest that we've spoke about lack of funding, but more funding is needed to provide Ella2 with more quality players around her, if there's any chance of stopping Chelsea?
Yeah, I think that it's more funding. It's just bringing more attention to it. While we have had an absolutely massive blow up in the last couple of years for women's football, I think there's still more that can be done in terms of funding, media. I think the WSL has done that, but maybe a little bit further.
The WSL's great.
Absolutely.
The branding for it is really on point. Yeah. Like, they know their place. They know who they're trying to appeal to, and I think they do that really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely is working. I think 'cause you see them more like on telly, like even more and more, and it's just it is great because I think it's too late. Like what's happened, this has happened too late. Like this should have happened about like 10 years ago or something, where people should have actually cared about it rather than oh god, we better
Women's
start putting it all in.
Women's football has always been there as well.
Yeah,
like
it always has been. Yeah.
I remember playing 12 years ago, I was about 5 or 6, and there were girls on the boys team because there weren't the girls teams. And over the past 10 years, isn't it, where there's girls teams here, there, and everywhere, and it helps that the WSL is so on point with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played in teams before, not necessarily football, but I'm based in cricket. I've grown up with girls who are absolutely phenomenal and are on the same par as the boys. But they won't have the opportunities because they have to play with the boys. We don't have a system set up where we can help develop those young players because they are so incredible.
Yeah.
Should we move on to Manchester City women?
Yeah, let's do that.
Can someone fill us in, because as discussed in the break, my computer has just died. So all my notes have just disappeared.
It's just gone.
Yeah. Right and Q, of course, as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so what I'm seeing is that, they've got 2 wins in the last 5 with 3 losses. So they're going through a bit of a rough patch at the minute. Although they did beat Villa 4-2 in the last game, so there clearly is something there. Sat third in WSL, 1 point out of Arsenal in 4th, and only 2 behind Man United. They've had 9 points off Chelsea. 27 goals scored, which is the second most in WSL, and the striker Shaw is the top goal scorer as well. So
Shaw.
they're doing
real
well.
Stato in the corner.
Yeah, I know. I've got my laptop up with literally with everything on. If you want to know how many goals are conceded, and also as well, Lauren Hemp has the most assists in the WSL with 5. Yeah, honestly, that's fine.
I'm really not surprised about Hempo, to be honest. I think she's quality as well.
City have a great youth academy system in the women's game. Is it Laura Blankill-Brown? I'm sure she made a debut for England the other week, and I'm sure she came through at City and plays for City now, and she's only young. So I think that's another sign that the WSL's doing something right with
Absolutely,
with City.
Well, it's every time. Like every time I think of women's football and like successful teams. I mean, I know the big teams in the men's game, but like Chelsea, Man United, and City, and like I've been to City before and like seen their facilities like over there, and it's like, you know,
they've got a real campus.
Oh,
exactly. Yeah, they do.
yeah.
They do. Like the women train on the same pitches of the men as the men. They may not play in the Etihad too much, but still, like the stadium they play in, you could throw a stone to where the Etihad is.
You
So
can
it's all nice and
and
centralised.
it's a good capacity as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's about 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah, it's a decent stadium, because like when you compare it to teams like Chelsea and stuff, because I think City do it the best for the women's game. Like Chelsea, like I think they just put them in the AFC Wimbledon stadium, and I just think that's just kind of like, you know, it doesn't feel part of it. It doesn't feel good for them.
Yeah, because Wimbledon aren't Chelsea, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's two different like, you know, levels to it. You got a League Two team and then, you know, a Premier League team throwing them in there. I think it's a bit wrong, but well, if that's what they can do, if that's the only thing they can do, then, you know, do it.
I really hope it's an availability thing, because if not, there's some mad stuff going on there.
There'll be some mental gymnastics if it's not an availability.
Yeah, and if
Making
so,
excuses for that.
Exactly, that's ridiculous. I think in this day and age, like, grow up. Genuinely,
Yeah.
we're playing just as good of a game as you. You need to be growing up.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, both of them are still Chelsea. The difference is it's just women instead of men, and that's not even a big difference. So
Exactly.
let them play in the main stadiums.
Playing in the same competitions for the
Yeah.
same
Literally.
trophies.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really similar.
Perfect. We've covered City and United women, and do you know what? I think we've done it justice. That's been the best discussion of City United we've had, I think, since I've hosted. But next, got a bit of Robbie Williams. Sorry about the abrupt ending there. I don't know what actually went on there. I think caught us all out. Even producer Aaron, who just signalled, wave his hand and keep going. We're going to talk about cricket because it's what Freya wanted.
I'm a cricket freak. All my personality traits at the minute are cricket and Salford Weekly, so you know that's fun. That's what I say to anyone who meets me. So you know, yeah. It's been a big week, to be fair. We've had 2 ongoing seasons go on. We have the Ladies' Ashes away in Australia. Not going to lie to you, we are doing very poor. And the last time I was on here, we were also doing very poor because we just got kicked out of the T20 World Cup. That was a sad day. But we're not doing I say we're not doing too bad, we're doing rubbish. We've lost all 6 games, so that's T20s and the ODIs. But we have had in my opinion, one of our best bowlers, Kate Cross. She is out because she fractured her back during one of the seasons last year, and it's just not healed. So it's quite bad.
How do you fracture your back playing cricket?
Ask her. I really don't know.
Because it's not a very physical sport. Well, it's not a combat sport. Of course, it's not a combat sport.
Well, physical contact. You're
You
not
need
there
contact,
barging
yeah,
into
that's the
people.
one.
It's not contact.
You're
sport.
constantly, so when you're bowling, the way her action is, she's literally whipping herself back like that constantly. Especially when you're batting as well. I get really bad back whenever I do too long of a batting session because you're constantly down like that, pulling your back, and then twisting forward, depending on what shot you're hitting. So I'd say it is a very physical sport.
Yeah, I was just thinking when you're running and
it's
you're
like
diving.
it's not like American football where you're getting like tackled. So yeah,
they wear pads though, so that don't really count, does it?
Yeah, but we wear pads as well, but that's only when we're batting. So
where do you wear pads? That's on your knees, isn't it?
so leg pads. You've got gloves. Lads, you have a box, and then you have a helmet. And then you can get thigh pads and everything, but there's no need. Realistically, a thigh pad isn't useful unless you are getting like absolutely drilled in by like an off-seamer. So realistically, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Where's your love for cricket come from?
I used to dance, and through that, I had a friend who played cricket. So we went down to my local cricket club when I was 9, and I've been playing for 10 years ever since. And I'm running the girls' team at Salford, so it's nice to sort of keep that spirit up.
Has your season started yet?
So, we don't have a season because we don't have a full team. We have 4 players, but we're doing a varsity first. We're the first ever Salford girls team to play at varsity. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about that. So yeah.
Perfect. And that is on the Wednesday, the 26th of March. That's when varsity is. So
Good.
we'll be able to see Salford's first ever cricket women's team.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I didn't know when varsity was, so thank you for that.
Planning's begun.
There's a day put in the diary now. There you go.
I'll get it on my Google Calendar sort of thing, yeah.
We had a meeting and I tried to get some Oreos out of the vending machine, and the vending machine kept my Oreos. So they saw me outside the window trying to shove this vending machine, and Aaron's laughing now. And Aaron and Alex came outside and pushed the vending machine and the other fell over, which was quite funny. But that was our varsity meeting summed up basically.
But
Yeah.
sounds like a good meeting, to be fair.
I'm looking forward to cricket. We're gonna I'll keep an eye on that and make a special mention.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
How many more players do you need?
So currently
Should
we're
we know?
we're at 5. Ignore me. Sorry, I said 4. That's 4 excluding me. So we're at 5. We need 6. So realistically, we can do it. That's why I said we're going to do it, because
Perfect.
we've got stuff in the works, and I think we can definitely do it. And we're on the Society show on Friday, so if anyone wants to tune into that, then go ahead, 8 till 9.
Join Freya's cricket team, because you know what? We're going to smash varsity.
Thank you.
Isn't that
Yeah,
right?
We're going to beat everyone.
Thank
Gonna
you for
beat
joining
everyone.
us this
Chester
week.
aren't a good. Sorry, Chester can't play cricket.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear.
Last year they couldn't pull a team together for the first, and we actually so for the second, and we smashed them in the first. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
perfect.
it was perfectly fine.
All I'm hearing is Salford, just a point on the board. We win the varsity. Perfect.
Yeah,
on,
I'm
come
not.
on,
I wouldn't
Salford.
say about. We don't know what the girls' team are like, but the guys have got it. In terms of, we've never played up against them before, so I'm really excited to see how that dynamic's going to work, and we're going to smash it. But yeah,
Right. Thank you for joining us this week.
That's been brilliant. It's been good fun.
Thanks. And make sure you watch Shock TV. That's where you can find all our good broadcasts, as well as Keys TV. That's what it's all at. Remember varsity, 26th of March. Goodbye.